chose the Battersea Power Station because it's real community in place. I think there's such potential for really designing high streets in a way that kind of appeals to everyone and really create that community. Really nice having such a range of people on board. I wasn't necessarily looking to actually leave where I was before, but meeting with a couple of people in the team, this is a team I want to work for, and it's such a growing team. I was really excited. So in agency, it's definitely getting better. I think there's a real effort being put in to encourage women to get into property.
Welcome to the People and Property Equals Progress podcast, brought to you by Lambeth Smith Hampton. Here we go beyond the bricks and mortar and take a deep dive into the fascinating stories behind the business. What makes LSH unique isn't the property market that they operate in, it's the people that drive it forward. The breadth and diversity, the imagination and the ambition of their people. Every episode, we'll sit down with an inspiring guest and they'll share their journey, their vision and their passion. So let's get started. Okay, now from the experience of Ezra to the fresh perspective of Annie Smith, who has cut her honeymoon short to be with us today, because that's the kind of people at LSH, they are dedicated. Annie, welcome. Thank you so much
for having me.
Can you explain to me in layman's terms
Yeah.
your role at LSH?
I work in the industrial agency team along with 6 others. We work very closely with our investment team. But I've been an industrial agent for 3 years, and my day-to-day role is, letting and selling sites, industrial warehouses to occupiers across the UK.
Now 3 years, but you are quite new to LSH.
Yes.
4 months?
4 months in. Yeah,
Oh,
4 months anniversary is coming
congratulations.
up.
Have you met Ezra before?
Yes. Seen him walking around the office, and it's been really good to catch up.
And not only have you met at work, you've also got a bit of a backstory. Let's
do.
start
We
by
do
hearing
indeed.
this crazy connected backstory.
Yes.
He's not your dad or anything.
No,
you know?
not my dad. No.
Just in case.
Phew.
What's happening?
Yeah, so I knew a couple of people at LSH from my graduate kind of time at my previous company. I met up with the guys there and were talking about the team that were growing and saying there might be an opportunity for West London, which was my patch that I specialised in. And when I came home and said, God, I've just had this really amazing breakfast with some mates about LSH, and my father had said, oh, that's Ezra that heads up that company, doesn't he? And I went, oh, yeah. And he said, well, he used to be my graduate, or my paper boy, as he referred to you as, my surveyor. And so it was a really good
Everyone
link.
started somewhere.
There's always some funny sort of link, isn't there? So it's a great story.
So,
Would like to hear your side.
well, exactly. So,
There's always other
so
stories.
Annie's dad, Martin, I'm not going to embarrass her, but Martin is one of the characters of the industry. And Martin's been around a long, long time. And Martin really kind of gave me my first proper job, actually.
Yeah.
I would have been probably like 18, 19, something in that order, age-wise. And he was a partner at what was a really, really good commercial practice called Barrington Lawrence. And it was one of those firms you kind of, when you were starting out, it was the one you kind of wanted to be rooted at and just learn from the shop floor. So my story is with Barrington Lawrence is a very short story because, and you won't know this, Annie, but not only did I get the opportunity to work at Barrington Lawrence, courtesy of Martin, because Martin knew somebody who I knew quite well, so it was a little bit of a favour to get me in, but it's the only job that I've been fired from.
Oh, gosh.
Did Martin fire you?
So Martin didn't fire me, and in fact, Martin swears he didn't even know I was fired. When you know what it was I had to do, you would realise that it was not my skill set. So I was put in a department doing rent reviews. They specialised in theatres in London. And what I did for 3 months, and I kid you not, I went round most of the theatres measuring the theatres, counting seats and measuring the theatres
Getting
for
the
the
data.
purposes, getting the data. And it was the most boring job on the planet. And I probably did it
but
with the least amount of enthusiasm.
You could have had to go and see every show in the West End and done it in the interval. You could have made it fun.
Sadly, that's not quite how it played out.
No.
You went when there was nobody there, literally apart from
Less
the cleaners, and it was a soulless, miserable, horrible start to a job. So clearly I did not exude the kind of enthusiasm I'm capable of,
Yeah.
of
So is that the
exuding.
reason you got fired? Did you count the seats wrong or something? What was the actual...
I think it was realised that it wasn't for
Yeah.
me. That wasn't going to be my destiny.
Well,
so
maybe
I was there for
that
literally 3 months.
losses LSH's eventual gain.
Well, I then went on to. Sorry,
Yeah.
this is Annie's
I-
podcast,
No,
not my
interesting.
podcast.
I don't want to hear it.
But I then went on, actually, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me because I then went on to get a job at a residential firm of agents
Yeah.
where I was for about a year. Deliberately, I loved it. I found it a bit boring, but I loved it. It was all about people. And what I learned from that is it was the human nature that you're dealing with people who are making decisions about the biggest single asset in their life, and how so many people made such bad decisions. So I did that for a year, and then I went back into the commercial
And
world.
that brought all the passions together.
So thank you, Martin.
Yeah.
Because actually, had I not had the 3 months, I would have not had the next bit and everything else. So everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, it's often those setbacks and times of setback that actually bring great opportunities. And
Now, Ezra described your dad as a complete legend.
God.
Do you feel the pressure in kind of following his career path to take that on and deliver, because people still obviously remember how great Martin was?
God, it's a really good question, actually. I think in terms of pressure, not so much, because it's a really positive kind of relationship I have with my dad, and he's always really encouraged me. So he's definitely set the standard high. But I've definitely learned a lot from him, and also a lot about the modern world, so different about what not to do.
Yeah.
Similarly, how you have. I think the generations changed so much, and it's very different now.
Does he try and advise you? Are you going round for dinner at his and you're having a chilled evening, winding down? He's like, tell me about all your current projects and how can I support? Or is he a bit hands off?
Actually, the opposite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I do phone him a lot. It's really nice to have someone outside of work who, obviously, a very close relationship. I can call him when I need to, and he's done it all. He's been there, got the T-shirt of it all, so he knows it. He's been there, been through the hard markets, the good markets, so he's really good to talk to. So no, not so much pressure, more so, like a really nice environment to learn from, and encourages us, and he's really proud, I think. I'm really proud that I'm working with you.
Great.
It's a really nice story.
Yeah, great.
Full circle moment.
And she's lasted longer than I did, so that's a good thing.
She's not counting the extras. Let's talk about a property that has changed your life. It's your favourite property or place you've been.
It's a really good question. It took me a lot of time to think about it. But then I kind of stumbled upon Battersea. So I live in Battersea, opposite the park, which is a lovely place to live. In fact, I used to think it was really poorly connected a few years ago, but actually it's brilliant. You've got Power Station, Battersea Park, Queenstown Road goes to Waterloo, Victoria, the Northern Line, so it's really good, particularly for where we work.
The Northern Line's amazing.
It's brilliant. So good. On the end of the line, I get to sit down the whole way, which is another perk. But no, I chose the Battersea Power Station because, apart from being right next to my house and having everything I could possibly need, it's real community in place. I mean, there are so many gyms there, restaurants. I've got such a routine. The restaurants are brilliant. I can see my friends. I've also met with a client in Battersea. It's got such an array of amenities that you can, it appeals to all walks of life. There are lots of kids' activities, the paddle, which you were saying about. So it's really got it all.
It was a long project to build, Battersea.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was on the market since the 80s. I was telling you guys, my dad actually pitched to buy it for £1 and make it into this theme park back in the day. He almost got it, which weirdly your dad knows about.
Yes.
And then I'm very glad that he didn't get it, because what it is now is absolutely magnificent. But it must have been incredibly disruptive being local to Battersea. Absolutely. When that was changing.
Yes.
I mean, the infrastructure, even the car park goes down.
Even now, there's still construction going on. They're in the process now of adding another entrance to the tube, so that's kind of caused a little bit of a human traffic, I guess, backlog of people trying to get into the tube in the morning. But I used to live in Clapham. When I came to drive around and have a look at it, I thought, crikey, this is so kind of congested and so much building work. But then actually, it must have been, I moved in last September, then it all kind of calmed down. And I really appreciated being by the park, walking through the park, then walking along the river and going, God, this is such a beautiful building. And even now, I must have been 50 times, 100 times, and I just am in awe of it every time, particularly on a beautiful sunny day when you look up and see.
And at night time, the lights. They spent so
so
much
well.
on the lighting of it, and it's amazing.
It's one thing really making me excited about Christmas and the cold weather is that the Christmas lights will be on.
I
It'll
think
be really
everyone's
nice.
going to give an answer to this as historical. If anyone says a new build, it will be very interesting, because I think it says a lot about a personality if you can see a building that is your favourite in the whole of this incredible infrastructure that we have that is new. So that'll be very interesting, because I think everyone with Battersea, what I think is amazing is they've maintained that industrial side. Like when you go into the shopping centre, you can see that it was a purpose-built building, and they've kept all that. They haven't tried to hide away from that, and they've highlighted it and made it into something magnificent because of that. In terms of changing its purpose, they've done that very, very well, I think. You hear the architectural stories around the design of the playground. Actually, that's a really good story, because the guy, he created it from a phallic symbolism and made it into tulips in the. You're going to look at the playground.
I know exactly what
it's
you mean.
slightly
Yeah,
different,
yeah.
but I've heard him speak on a podcast about his designs of it, and he's like, well, I feel like there's beauty in this, and if I bring it to this, it makes it child friendly. And it was,
I think about that. I think it's a whole class. I'll have a look.
Okay, right. Next question. A building or a place that's changed your life.
Really good question as well. That was another reason I'd thought of the Battersea Power Station, because it's my routine. Every weekend I go there. I go to the gym in the morning. All my friends live around London, but it's a proper hub for community, and my friends will come there. we'll then go for a coffee at one of the local coffee shops.
I'm a skier, Annie, and then we always talk about separation, so our lower body and upper body doing different things. And it's quite hard to implement in real life. So I used to have a juggling coach. I mean, this is a circus trainer.
That's very niche.
So that I could twist my hips and do something with my hands. And when I went to Battersea, I remember sending him a video of me on this bike. And I'm like, look, I'm separating. I'm doing something different. It was just such an amazing thing. And they have in Battersea next to, they've got amazing parks there and a zoo.
I see little kids on those and they're flying around the corner and you do have to brace yourself and go, right. Yeah, no, I do try and avoid
there's definitely a bit of a South London thing going on here because I'm a North Londoner.
Oh, sorry.
I have done.
Getting left
Totally
out.
alienating
No,
you.
but
that means you're
I-
cool.
But I'm so jealous now because we don't have a Battersea. We've got Brent Cross, which hasn't been touched for about 35 years. So
Where's Ali Pally? Is that up there?
Ali Paddy's there.
Is that what you
There's
think?
not
You
a
can
lot.
watch the
London.
darts.
I mean, the only
Ice
thing
skating.
I'm not sure they still even have the really rubbish
Ski
carpet.
slope.
Oh, dry
dry
slope.
ski sloping.
Yeah.
So like, North London, we're void of excitement of
there
kind
we
of
go.
major big infrastructure projects. I can't think of one.
But it's so funny you say that because I'm in a minority with my friend group. Everyone wants to be in North London. Everyone.
They've got style.
It's the
What
fun,
can I say?
and I go on nights out there, Dalston,
Right.
Clacton, all those Hackney. That's where all the cool places
I-
are.
I
So I
feel
think that's where the young
pressure.
people are being drawn to.
I feel pressure going out in North London. I literally think about what I'm going to wear and how I'm going to act to try and be cool. Because I'm like, I can't be myself because I'm going to North London. I've got to put on this personality. Yeah, I'm edgy, guys. I'm edgy. Yeah, I'm not just chatty. I'm edgy. Okay, and the last one. What building, place or city would you like to transform and why?
Another really good question. So I really thought about this and I was pulled towards places that had kind of dead sort of high streets. So where I lived in Reigate, I loved Reigate. Growing up there was super fun. And I go back now, and I don't know if it's because I'm older, I have a new perspective. There's always new restaurants opening and new shops, but they're only there for about 6 months to a year.
Oh, that's so sad,
and
isn't
it's
it?
so sad because it's such a vibrant town.
Yeah.
I think it's the high street, because I love Battersea Power Station and all the amenities I've talked about. I think there's such potential for really designing high streets in a way that kind of appeals to everyone and really create that community. Well, in Reigate, I'll give that example because it's more personal to me, but such a vast walk of life of people that live there.
Yeah.
Older people, the younger families, lots of schools. I think placemaking on a high street like Reigate would be such a nice idea and really bring some life back to it.
What would you do differently?
Well, I am
Because
guilty
the high
for a
streets have been
change.
struggling for a long
so
time.
long.
We say it since COVID,
Yeah, it's a really
but it's a
difficult-
long, long time.
I'm a sucker for Pizza Express, so I shouldn't diss the chains. Having spaces that appeal to all types of folks, so maybe a bit cliche, but kind of having a gym class, or everyone loves their cycle, you guys are super sporty, bringing paddle down. I know that is growing and it's happening slowly, and I think it will happen because of demand, and you're seeing that in London, and it does kind of dissipate and filter through to the kind of towns outside London. But yeah, just having more amenities, not if there are 10 coffee shops and you're a new
totally
startup,
agree,
there should be a tenant mix. It's a variety rather than opening another one.
I have friends who have this amazing gym, Raw Fitness, in High Street, Kensington, and when they opened up, there was only one other. Equinox was there, and it was massive for them for a while. But now that strip is known for having personal trainers, PTs. None of them can. None of them will be able to succeed. None of them will be able to stay there with any longevity because it's become too polluted with one thing.
Exactly.
Isn't this something that really should be considered when they're designing high streets? That you need this, you need a coffee shop, you want to do a workout, and then you might want to go shopping. Like what's happened there?
Well, you can ask the man later on today who spends most of his time advising on it. So Stephen Norris.
Yes.
Dr.
Yeah.
Norris.
Yeah.
His team, a lot of them are involved in regeneration projects of town centres. So it is, I mean, to Annie's point, it's an incredibly topical issue. And I think the combination of a degree of a lack of imagination, but also the economics that sit with because sometimes the economics and
of course.
the imagination doesn't quite sit together.
We can't blame Amazon for everything.
No.
Like, there's got to be a point where we step up and go, actually, people want to touch and feel before they buy, or things like that. Like, it'd be very, very interesting to chat with them. I wanted you to redesign the high street there for
that'd
me.
be a lovely job. I'm
So
going to
I'll
have
have
to
this, then
switch
I'll have a
teams at some
cashmere jumper shop, and then this.
But I think companies like your friend's company or the Equinoxes, they do so well. So other people that are also in that business go,
Think,
right,
I need to be there.
What an opportunity, let's do that.
Yeah.
And then you get oversaturated.
You get
and that's probably the
zones.
coffee shop
Yeah,
argument a few years ago,
exactly.
probably before COVID. People loved them, so they go, right, we should do the same.
Yeah.
And then it gets oversaturated, so it's a bit of a cycle. So
It is.
It really is. And then to talk about, your role within LSH. Have you found any bright sparks within the company that you've gravitated towards and used to be better at your job, or a sounding board? Like, who is that for you?
when I came over, I'd known some of the younger people in my team, and then meeting the, I say older, not older, the
More experience.
the more experience, the wiser. Meeting those guys was really interesting, and it's really nice having such a range of people on board, really. So one of my colleagues, Joe Skinner, is super analytical and such a great guy to learn from, because he will give you lots of time and talk you through everything.
Yeah.
And that's been really helpful. Even though I've done agency, it's quite a different gig. So I'm doing lots of site sales and lots of pitching, and it's really nice having someone that you feel like you're being led in a really good direction, a mentor, and harnessed, and also given a space to talk and give your views, a collaborative team. So he's really good. But also the other teams, marketing, they've been brilliant doing some pitches. I've given them a document to create into a pitch, and been so impressed with what I've come back with, and I've been really proud to pitch those documents. Also down to the apprentices, we've got an amazing apprentice in our team who's now a surveyor, done his APC, qualified. He's amazing and he knows so much. He's been working the same amount of time as me. That's Louis Day in our team, and he's super bright, so it's really interesting working with everyone. Definitely an inspiring team, and that's why I came over. I wasn't necessarily looking to actually leave where I was before, but meeting with a couple of people in the team, James Paulson, he really inspired me as well, and I thought, this is a team I want to work for, and it's such a growing team. I was really excited. So 4 months in, I'm really excited to continue working. I know you're speaking with Alcott later on. He's really brilliant as well.
I've heard he likes to chat.
He is brilliant. He's so great. He's been in the market for 20 years, industrial and kind of similar patch to me. So it's great working with him because he knows it all.
Been there, done
Any
that.
question, I go, right, do you know this building? Yep. And he knows the whole history. Similar to Joe as well, to be honest. So, it's a really great team.
Ezra, hearing Annie's passion and agility, I would say, how important for you is it that a business has stability and people who've been there, done that? You know, the Joes or the
Akhtar and Joe,
the Akhtars. And then having young people to come in and kind of challenge that perspective.
I think it's absolutely at the core of what you want within the dynamics of a team. But the thing I'm hearing lifetime from Annie is the fact that somebody that's come in new, sounds like she's been at LSH for years. Right? Settled in a really good environment with a really good spectrum of people, whether they're people below her, at her level, above her, but everyone kind of wanting the best out of everybody. So that support, I think, is absolutely key and fundamental. But Annie did say something quite interesting earlier about bringing on board some of the younger people. So we have graduates that come into the business, and that's quite a typical sort of career path that we have, but we're also trying to broaden the spectrum of how we encourage younger people to come into the business. And that's again kind of very much different to a lot of our competitors that don't quite do that. So we will take in lots of youngsters with all sorts of walks of life and background and give them a shop floor opportunity. I'm not saying that was me, but it kind of was me. What that does is it does two things. One is, first of all, it creates an incredible opportunity for them to learn, and that is absolutely learning from people more experienced. And second of all, it also builds loyalty. So actually, they're also very loyal to the business, and they tend to stay. And so we've got people who've been with us, again, from the shop floor, already now probably 7, 8, 9 years. And I think I love the colour of that it's not just fishing from one kind of pond. It's trying to kind of create a much broader spectrum of diversity.
I'm really passionate about that. I've done some volunteering bits in the past where I've presented to universities from lower income backgrounds and mentoring schemes to try and get people into property, because although I've got this family background in property, when I was doing my A-levels I really didn't know how I was going to get there. And I was looking at apprenticeship schemes and stuff, and I did end up going to do an undergraduate in real estate, but I really didn't know how to get in there. And I think it's so important, and I'm an advocate like yourself, to encouraging apprenticeships, encouraging that week's work experience. We've got a guy at the moment doing 2 weeks, and he's loving it, taking him on site, and he's like, I didn't know this was part of the job. I thought you'd sit at a desk and just sell. But once you open their eyes, get them to site, get them to development sites, get them to newly built buildings, and just seeing him being so excited and learning so much, it's really important. I'm really impressed with LSH for encompassing that and encouraging it, and definitely something I want to get more involved in as well.
And how important, Annie, is it for you to show those young women that this is a pathway that is open to them? I think back in when my dad was a chartered surveyor, it was a boys' club, and that's massively changed now, but it still needs to be talked about. It's a narrative that is continuous there, especially I know you're passionate about it. And Annie, you're in a position to do that because you've got to see it to believe it.
So there's lots of women in property events which are really fun and insightful to go to. I mean, within our team, we're very balanced. It's funny because there's all the talk about less women, and there certainly is, particularly in certain investment roles. Lots of clients I've noticed don't have many women, particularly in their property teams. But in agency, it's definitely getting better. I think there's a real effort being put in to encourage women to get into property. And when you go to women in property, the events are brilliant. Talk about all the different ladies' experiences, and actually in our generation, or my generation, it's actually a lot more balanced. So like
great.
I say, my interest in my uni course was a lot less women, so that's where it was more obvious. But actually in the industrial property, speaking about that market in particular, it is more balanced in agency. And when I speak to the girls at LSH, they really enjoy it, and they like that. It gives a bit of confidence going, right, we're going to boost
Yeah.
the girl power.
Yeah.
And we've actually specifically in our team got some initiatives that Alcott and Joe have really encouraged, and Alex from the investment team, to go out with the girls that we know, do some days out, because guys can play the golf and it's not so much the girl scene. So to go and do some more girly events, we went to the Sporting Legends event, which was brilliant. We brought some clients along to that were girls, and it was such a great event, and it was so fun to really mingle with them, and they really appreciated it.
Good.
Just making sure we're putting the effort into the girls, but also not leaving the guys out too, because we talk about it so much. Like, guys, it's all about the girls here.
Yeah.
But no, it's really important, and
it's
another
really
thing I'm
good.
really passionate about.
And as you've heard from Ezra, people are the backbone to LSH. What people skills and traits do you think that you bring that will serve you strong at Lambeth Smith?
Oh, good question. I'm very much a team player. Although it's difficult because people say you're an individual worker but you're a team player, but I'm very much a team player. When I need to do my reports, I will knuckle down and do them. But I really like the collaborative approach of the team that I'm in. We have an occupied team and a landlord team, and we work really closely together. And having a skill set where you can kind of do a little bit of both, also manage a number of instructions and different projects at one time is important. Also having a very open communication path, I think, is quite an important trait. Being honest about your workload, your capacity, and making sure. I have got surveyors in my team that are, what would you say, the hierarchy, so there's directors, my level, and then the ones that have just qualified. And I think it's really good to be open and communicate clearly to those folk that are learning as well. So I think it's really important to have good communication, open communication. Be positive, be kind. Treat everyone how you'd want to be treated.
Well, to end on that open communication, this is quite an amazing opportunity you've got right now, because I'm going to give you the last question to ask Ezra.
Okay.
Is there anything that you want to tap into in Ezra's mindset or, his beliefs in business? Sitting next to him today, he also didn't know I was going to do this again.
Nice,
I always
caught
throw him
off
under the
Yeah,
bus.
she's done that all morning, by the way.
Annie,
but-
is there anything that you want to take this time to ask Ezra?
If someone was starting out again, they're just about to go to university, or they've just done their A-levels, they think they like property, like me back in the day when I didn't know, do I do the apprenticeship? What advice would you give to someone that really wants to get into property but doesn't really know how to find their place and get a career in it?
That's a common theme. A lot of people that do eventually find a career in property suddenly feel that they're in Aladdin's cave, because the perception of real estate is often a bit like a theodolite, or a bit building surveying, or at worst, like or an estate agent. But when you come and work in a consultancy business, what you very quickly see and realise, you've got this incredibly diverse skill set of people that cover so many aspects of property. So I think the hardest job is getting people to turn on the idea of a career in property in order for them to look into the Aladdin's cave. And the best way that we do that, we go around to schools. We're constantly investing in time to educate people. To your earlier point, I'm an absolute believer in giving people an opportunity to come for a couple of weeks just to do a little bit of work experience, get a taster, see things, learn about things that might inspire you, that maybe a year or two later when you think about a career,
Revisit.
you might want to come back. So I think what we're constantly trying to do is just find ways plant the seed and allowing people to put their toe in the water a little bit in order to encourage.
Yeah, and change the perception of what they think it is.
Yeah.
Because it's fun.
It's so
I mean,
fun.
you guys are great.
I always get, are you an estate agent? Or
Yeah.
I have to go, when I present to the schools and tell people about it, I go to the younger girls, I'm like, right, it's like selling sunsets. No red sole shoes, but steel cap boots and hard hats.
Yeah, nice. I like that.
But no, the work experience is really valuable, so I think that's a really
exactly.
good point.
Oh, well, thank you so much. We
Thank
won't
you for
keep you
having
any
us.
longer. You can go back to your honeymoon now.
Get back to my honeymoon,
Yeah, so kind of you to come in for this.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Dedication.
having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Annie. Thank you.